Nordik, and we are in map 1 of Border. NYYRIKKI starting out on the attack. Let's see what these guys can do for us. Let's see where the operators are going first. Let's see if we are going to see the Nomad pick.
It would appear that we don't have any of the new operators on the board so far. I say that tentatively as Crisco has yet to choose, but he comes in unsurprisingly on the Maestro. So it's going to be a 6th pick if we are going to see any of those new operators. Fairly standard lineups across the top there for an Armoury Locker's defence. Not too surprised to see the Mirror being brought, seeing as she is available this time. So we've got the Ash Sledge, Thermite, Thatcher, Zofia combo. So I'd suggest we're probably going to see the usual west wall push, but they do have the Mirror in place to be able to deny that. So it may be a case of getting Zofia or Ash underneath in that main lobby area and just opening the floor up to try and move Mirror away from that west wall area. There is also the potential for the office push, don't get me wrong, get yourself into office, open up the wall that we can see Crisco currently reinforcing with the Thermite and look for a plant behind the B-bomb. So that's another option as well. I've been discussing quite a bit really that I like to see west wall opened up, followed by the Thermite actually just sort of ditching at that point, rotating round to the east side, getting some office control and opening up the office wall as well. That really does throw a spanner in the works for the defenders, but it would appear that Nordik are keen on defending the office area here. We've had a lot of utility expended in there in terms of barbed wire and reinforcements, so they're certainly not going to be giving that up easily. Interesting to see we don't have the mirrors placed yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing where they end up.
It could be a case of the waiting to see where the push is coming from before placing the mirrors, although that is a fairly risky strategy, as you are really going to want to establish yourself and figure out where it is that you do want to push onto, or where it is that you do want to hold as that mirror operator. Got Panari on the sledge, just making his way up onto West Rappel. No mirror played on the armory wall, as is fairly standard. Those will be more likely being played over in Fountain area. A couple of shots there, just trying to bait anybody out that could be waiting, and shots going to come through onto the barricade, just to try and unsettle any defenders that are playing over in CCTV. So a mirror has actually now been placed onto the armory wall, and that's going to provide a good portion of information, as that is where a large portion of the push is coming from. So it could be that the mirror was being saved there by Lion just to place at the last moment once he'd established where the push was going to come from. A lot of defenders playing over inside of CCTV, and it's going to be on the attackers on NYYRIKKI to try and root those out just a little bit. First kill going to come through from Shinka over onto Move. Thatcher no longer going to be available. Not really any hard breach denial that Thatcher has to worry about. More green mines or disabling evil eyes shots as well. They're going to come through from the Legion onto Panari on the sledge. Grenade shot going to come through. Oscar Mosca meanwhile on the Ash will grab a kill of his own onto Chris at the bottom of main stairs. But the Legion wasting a heck of a lot of time upstairs, and does manage to find a knife kill as well onto Stig. Walshy closing things out with a kill onto Panari as well. The kills are flying through now for Nordik, and it is all down to Kolensky. 1 versus 4. Not a lot of hit points remaining on the side of Nordik, so he is in a good place to do this, and that's going to put him in an even better one, as he does take out the only operator that did have full health, Slinky. So he is going to make his way into CCTV, and that's going to be where a large portion of these remaining defenders are left playing. Is he going to be able to break these engagements down and put himself in that powerful position? He is. He's going to rotate through and grab the kill onto Sal. But Walshy, there to close things off, does manage to pick up that round for Nordik.
So unfortunate for Kolensky there not to know that that second man was in there. Just shows again, as we say so many times, the importance of information in Siege there. If he knows he's there, I think he probably comes in, he guns the first, and he gets his ADS straight up above that half wall and starts looking for the second, but he was just unaware of his location, unfortunately. So that's going to be the first round going in favour of Nordik on the defence. Pretty standard, really. They had the best side available, the Armoury Lockers site, and they did a good job of doing it. I don't think NYYRIKKI were aggressive enough in clearing CCTV out. I think that was part of the problem. We look at that top floor of the map, and really you want to be gaining control of CCTV or of office, and then that can become the beachhead for the rest of your attack. And they just didn't really ever seem to gain that sort of control, or they didn't even really push it aggressively either.
No, it was just window play, and usually on window play like that, you do see the attackers come out on top, but the way that Nordic were able to hold it, choosing when to be aggressive and choosing when to really, come out and show themselves to be able to get those kills, it was just a field day, and they seemed to be able to do no wrong, really. And it was a very good hold, and if you keep firm control of CCTV, it can make things a lot easier moving on into the round as things do progress. But we are going to move downstairs this time. We are going to be jumping into ventilation and workshop, as maybe a little bit of a more typical hold will come through. However, we are seeing the mirror, which isn't an operator that we do usually see for a ventilation hold. Not a lot of utility being expended upstairs. Sometimes you will see teams reinforce that armory wall and try and keep control of armory and offices and archives, or maybe not so much offices, but definitely armory and archives, and anticipate the push coming through offices area. But not going to see all too much presence upstairs at all for the Nordic players. They're instead going to choose to rely pretty heavily on the utility that they're going to deploy down onto the site, and those mirror windows, I'm sure, are going to play a big part in this.
Looking into round number 2 then, we're starting to get towards that action. 30 seconds in and we're seeing the attackers approach the building now, NYYRIKKI. Just applying a bit of attention to the main door. They've also shot out the top of the detention wall, so possibly looking at a lower floor entry, but we do have at least 2 NYYRIKKI operators up on the top floor, and Pulse is going to start feeling some pressure down here in customs in a minute, I think, because it certainly looks like Sledge has pushed his way quickly into detention, and Kolensky will get that first kill onto Shinka, so that's going to be Bandit off the board. 5 versus 4 in favour of NYYRIKKI now. It looks like they've got some good top floor control around CCTV. From the silhouettes, it looks as though all the defenders are now downstairs, and that vertical control has been quickly given up. We're going to have Walshy moving back onto site as Pulse, so I think I've just seen all 4 defenders now turtling on site, and that is going to be a dangerous prospect with a minute 40 left to go. It's going to allow NYYRIKKI the freedom to just build their attack here, build up that execute, start looking for those vertical angles. They've got Sledge upstairs, Movtaho gets the kill onto Salzam, so that is going to be the second now. 5 versus 3, and things getting tricky coming into the last minute for Nordic.
The man count is certainly heavily in NYYRIKKI's favour here. Kolensky's just going to open up the castle barricade over onto B. Sometimes you can leave that one in place as if you're able to jump in through the window, but with the mirror being played on into B, it is going to make things a little bit more difficult. Pulse as well playing tight inside the door. Christo on the other side, though, is going to grab that kill over onto moving. A vertical kill, or an opportunity for a vertical kill, is going to come through for Lion, but he doesn't manage to convert it. Panari and Stig both grabbing one of their own, all down to Lion. Oscar Mosca, as the Ash from upstairs, is going to clean that one up for his team. Much more convincing round there from NYYRIKKI.
Yeah, we discussed the importance of that vertical control on border before we got into this map, and I think we've just seen a good example of it there. It was largely given up by Nordic. I think they did start with a roamer up there, but quickly removed back and onto site, and it just allowed NYYRIKKI far too long with top floor control. We saw vertical pressure particularly and kills coming in, and it was pretty much a matter of time, I think, from there for NYYRIKKI to do that, and there was good pressure applied to the customs area as well, just to move Pulse out of there.
Like you say, there was just nothing deployed upstairs for them to be able to keep it. I think that the mirror was a bit of a strange choice. We're seeing this time Lion is actually going to switch things up and jump onto the Jaeger, so that's going to maybe give him more of an option to roam upstairs. Bandit being chosen as well. Are we going to see the armory wall tried to be held with some Bandit batteries? That is something that can really slow down the attackers as they push through. I mean, NYYRIKKI are one of those sides. They're pretty well set in the operators that they are going to bring to you. You're usually going to see Oscar Mosca on the Ash. You're usually going to see Panari on the Sledge. There's not a lot of flexibility really in terms of their operator lineup, and that isn't necessarily a bad thing because it is something that does work quite well for them. But through not bringing the Thermite, through bringing the Hibana, they're able to get the hatches open, which is great. But if they're not able to get in through armory wall because you're going to reinforce that and put a Bandit battery on it, that's going to slow things down even more, and then there's a choice to be made as to whether we're going to use 3 or 2 X-Kairos charges on the wall and then one on one of the hatches, and you know, decisions have to be start to be made there, and utility can start to be burned out. Nice drone placement there in the bathroom. I don't even know what that is. It looks like a little electrical box or something, but a lovely little drone placement there. Not sure how long it'll last, but it will provide a little bit of intel nonetheless. The push, no doubt, is going to come through from upstairs, but all the defenders seem to be stacking up over onto detention. We've got Walshy and Bandit there. Probably both got C4s in hand and maybe just looking to sling a C4 over the top. A flurry of kills. All of a sudden we are 3 versus 3. The trades fly through. We're going to lose Oscar Mosca and Panari and the Bandit and Lion, who is going to be playing the Jaeger. It might get a bit confusing that, but we are going to see it 3-3 as trades do come out fairly quickly. Klensky, in and amongst all that, has managed to find himself upstairs in CCTV, and he's got Move up there as well, working with him, grabbing that kill over onto Walsh.
2 minutes remaining then, and we are 3 versus 2 in this third round. NYYRIKKI have made some good progress. They've got top floor control. They've also moving in through customs as well. It looks like the defenders have pretty much retreated onto site now and will be holding their angles. Move getting a second kill for himself onto Crisco. So that's now going to leave us 3 versus 1. Salzum has it all to do on the castle here. He's going to hold himself hard inside of sight at the moment. He's just going to play that angle. He knows he's got time. He's got 1 minute 30. He's going to get droned out, so he might need to relocate, which he will do. But ultimately, the attackers have to do something. The attackers have to move in and get the diffuser down. They have to challenge him here. So really, Salzum just needs to play his angles and challenge the fights as and when they come. Stigi, meanwhile, is going to look to get the diffuser down, but Salzum will get the first of 3 kills that he needs onto Kolensky. He is in a difficult position now, having to fight and get this site retaken. He's going to move himself out and through customs. Stigi's, I think, aware of where he is roughly and will hold a tight angle going prone onto customs. Which operators are going to come together first? It's going to be Stigi and Salzum, and that will be that. NYYRIKKI taking their 3rd attacking round, 2nd in total for score, so that will leave them 2-1.
And a nice crossfire established there, 3 versus 1, recognising the need to put the timer in the defender's disadvantage, as it were, by getting that diffuser down and really forcing the remaining defender to make a play, forcing Salz to make a play there on the castle. Very difficult situation really for him, as a 1 versus 3 there with the diffuser going down is never ever going to be easy. Not a lot of health on his side either. We are going to see Nordik able this time to go back up to Armory Lockers, and unless they 6-pick onto the mirror, I don't believe we are going to see one. We've seen Lion playing a number of operators so far. We've seen him over on the mirror and on the Jaeger, and now this time on the Pulse. 6-pick doesn't look like it is going to be used, so a little bit strange really, because I feel like the mirror was something that kind of worked quite well for them in conjunction with a good hold onto CCTV. But let's see how NYYRIKKI are able to attack this site a little bit differently, because they did struggle here back in the first round. They really struggled to take control over CCTV. Now I'm not sure if that means they're going to this time look to try and take control over Office, as that can be somewhere that you know, you're either going to look to take Office or CCTV. You're going to look to get in through triple wall being reinforced, which it looks like it could all be reinforced, is going to make things a little bit difficult as well, because we talked about this. NYYRIKKI don't tend to bring the thermite, they do tend to opt for the Hibana, so it is going to make a bit more of a decision as to which wall gets opened. Are you going to look to open triple wall in offices, or are you going to look to open armory main wall? That's something that those guys are going to have to decide, because it could really influence which way the push comes through.
I think Nordik might find themselves with a bit of a taller order here. NYYRIKKI have got themselves a couple of rounds on the bounce. They've grown into the match so far. They've taken top floor control twice. I know it hasn't been overly heavily contested, but it just builds that confidence within the team when attacking a location like CCTV. So I think we're going to see a different attempt from NYYRIKKI here. They're going to try and get themselves into CCTV quickly, and they're going to try and get control. They're going to recognise that that's where they lost this match from last time. They suffered suffered a couple of kills out of there, and ultimately it was the downfall. So I'd expect to see some more pressure applied. But that being said, the Legion of Walshire just being allowed to challenge that sledge on the rappel still. They need to be moving in here a little bit quicker. There is no challenge towards the break room side of CCTV. So get yourself in there and start putting some shots on. They've got Salzam in there as well, and they lose. The first man is moved on the attack who will go. So that's the Thatcher. If his job hasn't been done at this point, there's nobody on the board that's going to actually stop a hard breach, but there is that pulse scanner. There are those Legions and Maestros. So Thatcher, certainly some lost value there.
And Panari just trying to find an angle onto anybody that he can, shooting a little bit over into offices, seeing if he can unsettle any of the defenders. Oscar Mosca still over on rappel. Does seem like a little bit of a waste to have your Ash player on rappel. I'd rather see Ash pushing in a bit more aggressively. Having said that, Ash's sister, as it were, Zafia, or cousin, let's say cousin, is going to be doing the business there as Kalensky does take out Walsh over in CCTV. Oscar Mosca does grab one onto line before getting traded out by Shinka onto, as the Rook, sorry. The wall being open now is going to allow Stiggy an angle in. He knows that there's going to be somebody playing in that tight angle, but it's going to be Panari that finds that kill despite his low health. 2 quick trades come through. Kalinski does manage to take out Sal, leaving the man count in NYYRIKKI's favour. Before I can finish talking, Kalinski, he's moved in. He's found his 3rd and final kill of the round, and he is going to pull up round number 4 for NYYRIKKI, taking this 3-1.
Kalensky having an absolute stormer so far, getting some real kills on the board. But yeah, I like what NYYRIKKI did there. They just changed it up as you suggested, X. They pushed Armory with more intention this time, and they did challenge onto CCTV, but not too heavily. And the clever thing there is you've got 2 players then who are holding CCTV because they feel like they're being pushed, so they keep holding there. Meanwhile, you're limited in numbers elsewhere, and that was the time that they pushed office and took advantage of that fact. So great plays from NYYRIKKI to get themselves 3-1 up. We're going to move into round number 5, and we're going to head back to Armory Lockers. What's the takeaway for Nordik from that last round, X?
I like the fact that they're bringing the mirror back out. That was something that did work fairly well for them. I don't know really what their issue is. I think the way that they held offices was a little bit strange. I don't know why Rook was playing so close to that south wall, or the east wall. I don't know why Rook was playing so close to the east wall. He was playing the other side of triple wall in the little sort of cubby bit between triple wall and the window, and he just kind of got himself locked in the position where he never really had an out strategy or an exit strategy. And as a roamer or a defender that's playing off site, you always kind of need that, exit strategy of how I'm going to rotate back to the site without getting shot. I think they overcommitted to the Armory hold. It would be nice to see that held more from Fountain. Mirrors played on Fountain Wall, and use those to peek off in accompaniment with somebody playing over in CCTV that can then move through the corridor into offices as and when it's needed. Maybe somebody playing at the bottom of these stairs that's going to try and play for a later flank. But it doesn't appear as though Fountain Walls are going to be reinforced or a mirror is going to be played on there, which could be a bit of an oversight because the office push worked really well for NYYRIKKI, and I'd kind of be surprised if we didn't see him try and go that way again.
Yeah, and as you've said, if those Fountain Walls aren't reinforced, potentially if we can get some CCTV control, they've got the Ash, they've got the Sophia, they can open up the Fountain Walls, and that's going to make that mirror's position very, very difficult to maintain. There's also the potential nades of Panari. We don't know if an ADS has been placed for that mirror, and that's potentially what Panari is going to be looking for up here. There are nade spots that will rain down to the sandwich area, so that could again be something they're going to try, and if Jaeger hasn't done his job and got the ADS in there for her, it's going to be tough when they start raining in. We're going to see a reasonably steady approach so far from NYYRIKKI. 1 minute in, we're just going to see the Hibanas of Stigi now opening up that door. We can see the nade coming in towards that mirror that I was talking about, but the Rook of Shinka just got himself away from there. But I'm sure the 3rd set of pellets from Stigi are going to be going on to that mirrored wall, and they're going to be opening it up and making it impossible for Shinka to stay in there now that they know that that's where he's playing. We can see that they have been deployed there, so things just got difficult. Stigi gets the kill onto Shinka, and what a perfect example of how to push the mirror in that area. But Lion will get aggressive now. If he approaches this breach, he might just get a couple for his trouble. Move will get the kill onto Crisco. Out comes the Nitro, he gets a kill onto Move, and that's going to bring us 4 versus 3, but the challenge will come onto Lion. He will get a second for himself onto Stigi. Fantastic plays from the mirror. Is he going to jump out and get more? Yeah, he's going to try, but he won't quite get the kill as Kalensky picks him up. Meanwhile, Walshy gets one onto Panari. There's an absolute flurry of activity, which leaves us 1 versus 2 now. Oscar Mosca has it all to do. He's in sight on the Ash. He has the operator to do it, but Salzam will finish things off. What a round between both teams.
That just shouldn't work. Playing a mirror in that scenario shouldn't work like it did, but Nordik made it work. Lion coming out with a real aggressive mirror play there. C4 toss, perfect, picked up a kill. Little slow crouch peek onto the corner, grabbed a kill. Run out almost was there as well, but the Claymore did down him and did take away his 3k from him. But great heads up play there from Lion, just recognizing when and how hard to push. For me, it was NYRIKKI's to lose. As soon as they got the kill onto Shinka, it was what I was talking about in the early part of that round. No exit strategy from the Rook. The exit strategy is to run away and kind of die, because there's somebody who's going to open up that reinforced wall, and crossfires have been established by NYRIKKI. You got nowhere to go. It worked really well for NYRIKKI up to that point, but then as soon as Lion went and filled the gap that had been left by Shinka, all of a sudden the kills started to flood in Nordik's favour. 3-2 there, easily could have been 4-1, as I do believe that was kind of NYRIKKI's round to lose at that point, as he did seem to take good early control, but maybe not enough control of CCTV area caused them to, cause players of Nordik to be allowed to rotate back into offices and rejoin the fight, as it were.
Yeah, I think Lion's unpredictability just did it all there. It's like NYRIKKI came in and they dealt with that sandwich mirror fantastically. They cleared Shinka out, as you said. They basically had no option but to run and die, and that's exactly what he did. But never for a second did NYRIKKI think that a defending operator would push back into such a dangerous position once it had been opened up with the Habanas, and that's exactly what Lion took advantage of. Got himself a great headshot through on the Habana, and honestly was unlucky to get the third when he jumped out.
Moving on now into bathroom. Tellers, this is going to be a site that you're going to heavily defend from upstairs. It is Nordik are not leaving themselves any other option by choosing this site. They have to defend from offices, which, as we've seen, is something that they can do fairly well. Early kill there from Oscar Mosca. No idea where he managed to get that from. Think it was maybe from the roof through the top of Fountain Walls. A hell of an opening kill. That's a lot of game knowledge there, just showing how valuable he is on that Ash. Taking out Lion on the Bandit, and that is going to be a great opening kill for the team of NYRIKKI. Panari now in a position to move on, throwing some grenades in. Maybe got caught over in an ADS, but we're going to see some early Toxic Bay deployment, as the double door to offices is going to get cut off ever so slightly. With sight being so available, Oscar Mosca did look like he could have been tempted there by just jumping on into sight. Panari, meanwhile, has been downed upstairs. Not sure if he's in a position to be revived or not, or if he's being baited a little bit there by Kalensky. Kalensky going to go for it anyway. Walshy on the other side is going to grab that kill onto Move. Kalensky needs to aggressively push this now, or at least use some of his lifeline utility to try and grab one of these kills. Just misses his shot. Stiggy going to trade it out and get the kill onto Walshy. Another Toxic Bay being released. Shinka now full flash, and Oscar Mosca's going to be able to jump in and get the double. But Crisco trading it back onto Kalensky, all now down to Crisco. He's left outside of Armory, just at the beepers area. The plant will start to go down. Panari's going to be in a good position to clean things up, but it's going to be Oscar Mosca. He's going to grab his third of the round, and in fact, I think that's his fourth of the round. I think the ace was stolen from him by Stiggy, I believe. But nevertheless, a great round for NYRIKKI as a whole.
Absolutely. I mean, poor Shinka. on the smoke, in office. He did not know what day it was, let alone which way was up or down. He got flashed, he got hit with the Sophia lifeline, and it was just a matter of time until he got cleared out of there. But great aggressive pushes from NYYRIKKI again to recognise where the defenders were prioritising in the office hold, and just got in there and cleared them out. Always a good decision to pick up your teammate if possible. As you said, there is the risk that you're being baited onto that, but that wasn't the case, and Panari managed to get back to his feet, and then the pressure really got applied to office from there. So great plays on that one from NYYRIKKI. That's going to be their final attacking round. After the first 6 rounds, we are 4-2 up coming into this second half of Border. NYYRIKKI now going to move on to the defence.
Attackers need to locate and
we're
defuse
seeing
the bomb.
something a little bit different from them. They're going straight down to ventilation rather than taking off the armoury lockers location first of all, as most teams do. But if they get this one won and then they go up to armoury lockers, potentially that's putting them straight onto match point after only 2 defending rounds. So might not be a bad choice at all. We're going to see utility being expended upstairs as well, which is absolutely no surprise. We've spoken about the importance of an upstairs hold, and we saw NYYRIKKI take advantage of that not being done. So Mirror just currently opening up those fountain walls, and then the soft wall from CCTV as well. So it's just going to allow a real long range defence of officers and fountains there.
Attackers have recovered their defuse.
And this could be a scenario where Nordik maybe aren't quite prepared. Armory Tellers is the usual first choice bomb site. I mean, ventilation is a very close second, I would imagine, as Walshy there just trying to get a drone maybe through into detention and figure out where Move is playing. But Lions wasted 0 time at all. He's already made his way into main lobby area, pushing onto the site. I think he may have narrowly missed out on a sight of Oscar Mosca there, as he's now aware of a player over in CCTV. As the Legion did shoot a drone, shots will be exchanged, but Lion will not land any. Instead, he will take a couple. Walshy now in a position where he's able to peek onto the side door and CCTV, but no attention at all being paid upstairs by the side of Nordik. Instead, it's going to be a heavy push onto site from downstairs, as Shinka does grab an opening kill over onto Move. So no more goo mines from the Legion will be deployed. Shinka now just able to do some drone work, figure out if anybody is still playing over in customs area, and then move onto the site.
Reasonable attack so far from Nordik, pretty structured, pretty patient, although Panari and Kalensky will have their own say on that. And again, we're seeing the importance of vertical control on Border. Nordik trying to build this attack with only lower floor action coming in from detention and customs area, and that is starting to prove costly as they now find themselves at a man disadvantage 4 versus 3. They really need to do something about these operators up the stairs, because otherwise they're going to sit there and they're going to hold vertical angles all day, wait for you to push into sight and pick you off as you do. At the minute, Nordik struggling a little bit. With only a minute to go, they're pretty much locked inside of detention and customs.
And that's the problem when you don't try to remove the roamers from those powerful positions upstairs. Kalensky is going to fall there, unfortunately for him, as it is going to be Chris that does grab that kill. Oscar Mosca playing over in the shower area, just waiting for that peek over onto the Ash. Doesn't manage to land the shots. The unforgiving recoil on the SMG-11 just proving too much for him after a whole 6 attacking rounds on that R4C with 0 recoil at all. Walshy is going to be allowed then to just peek on upstairs and make his way over on into the site. Now he's going to have a pretty good angle here onto Oscar Mosca if he does reveal himself, and he does. The shots do come through. Oscar Mosca goes for the double peek. Walshy does grab that one. Panari with a quick double though, bringing things back into NYYRIKKI's favour, making that a 2 versus 1 now, as Panari and Stiggy are going to be left to try and deal with Walshy. Walshy doesn't have the diffuser in hand. Panari jiggle peeking around the corner. Is he going to find the kill? He is. Walshy 50-50 angle, and he looked the wrong way. He looked over into the small office while Panari was just playing around on the corner. Peeks round, picks up the kill perfectly. Another great round for NYYRIKKI.
Yep, top floor control. Panari there just picking up that double kill and then moving downstairs, getting the final one. Nice 3k for him. Unfortunately for Nordik, the lesson they need to learn there is if there are defenders playing top floor unless you're talking maybe 4 defenders top floor so that you can literally just rush into site, get 1 kill, and cover those vertical angles while a plank goes down. You're almost certainly putting yourself at a disadvantage if you don't challenge those top floor roamers. And that's exactly what we've seen there. Kolensky and Panari on top floor had an absolute field day. No surprises. So, moving into round number 8, we currently have NYYRIKKI 5-2 up. They're going to be looking to get themselves onto match point. Oddly, going to Bathroom and Tellers instead of Armory X.
NYYRIKKI is saving strats.
Absolutely, you heard it here first.
I think that's the. I think that's what we say these days. NYYRIKKI saving strats confirmed. They're going to take us over to Bathroom and Tellers. To be honest, if you can defend it well, why not? You know, if you don't really want to give away your armory, or you've not really got anything different to do in armory, and you're bored of armory, and you feel like you can win. At the end of the day, they're 5-2 up, so they're not looking at this and thinking we need to win this round. If they do win up here, then armory is a nice comfort blanket to go and clean up on match point. If they don't win up here, they've still got armory, and then they can still go back down to workshop and win there, because if they went straight to armory, won that, then they would have to come to Bathroom Tellers anyway, because workshop would still be banned.
Like you said, with a good 5-2 advantage as well, it's a good opportunity to play the side without it really mattering too much, and then you're practicing your third side.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
So it's going to be on how Nordik are able to attack. This time they're not going to be able to ignore top floor control. It's a site that is basically defended from the top floor, and you're going to have to take control of that, because the hatch that basically looks right into multiple of the default plant spots, as well as the destruction, and able to look through offices and figure out what's going on down below. It is an easy objective to defend from upstairs, or much easier to defend upstairs, sorry, than to try and defend it from downstairs. Lion going to make his way over onto 90, as his ex-Kairos are going to get shot out by a defender on main stairs. He chases the kill but doesn't manage to find the kill. I do believe it was moved. It has, however, left him with a very nice single ex-Kairos peak hole. He is, unfortunately for him, going to miss his shots onto it. Kolensky did take a little bit of damage, but not all that much. Kolensky's going to move through and aggressively peek onto this single ex-Kairos hole that has been made over in Fountain. Stiggy with the hatch ready to drop, playing a mirror over in Armory Desk, just waiting to see if the push is going to come from that direction. But Panari with the vertical kill, and just showing us how powerful that vertical angle is able to take out an attacker over in main lobby, while Salz is just trying to pull things back ever so slightly, and does remove Stig from Armory Desk, bringing the man count back to 4 versus 4.
Panari very aware of the pressure being applied to him now, but he's going to keep himself tight in that corner, and he's just going to play it for as long as he can. That's his job here, is to really waste as much time. Lion moving in now. Is Panari going to get the kill? No, he is not. Lion moves in and gets a great headshot onto Panari, so that is going to bring things 4 versus 3 in Nordik's favour now, and they're certainly learning the lessons of rounds past, and they are prioritising getting this top floor control before they start pushing too hard towards site. Salzam now looking for those vertical angles through the office floor to see if he can get shots onto the players down inside. He's just going to take a little bit of damage from that toxic babe, and we're going to see the Jaeger of Oscar Mosca just drop the hatch and get himself back into sight. We can see Kolensky on the smoke now, just rotating up and down. We've had some good rotations, but he is going to be cut off there by Crisco in CCTV. Lion with one of his own on to move. 1 versus 4 now, and Oscar Mosca has all the pressure applied to him inside. The diffuser will be going down, and there is a good watch in place as well. Lion will get the kill onto Oscar Mosca, and that is going to be an attacking round for Nordik.
I don't think that NYYRIKKI are going to be losing too much sleep over that round. As we said earlier, they are going to now be able to go to Armory Lockers, and then the next round, which if they do win here, will be match point, and they are going to be able to go back down to Ventilation. So it's a site that they would have had to play at some point, and it just didn't quite work out for them at all. But the momentum is now in Nordik's favour. They've just coming off a hot win on that round, so they're going to be looking to, I'm sure, make this a second. Something that we're not seeing played at all, which is pretty strange considering his ban rate, is Maestro. Oh, the prediction. The prediction. Oscar Mosca is going to switch onto the Maestro. I've been waiting a couple of rounds to say that, and I wanted to wait a few more before I did, but I thought, no, it's time. We've not seen the Maestro played. He's a hot topic. He's banned all the time, but Oscar Moss is going to give up the castle and instead take the Maestro, and of course, his Evil Eyes.
Crystal ball confirmed. So, looking into round number 9, then we see NYYRIKKI with a 5-3 lead, and my only concern, you're completely right in what you were saying, Next. They didn't have a choice but to play bathroom tellers at some point, so sometimes it's better to get it out of the way. My only concern is that they've given Nordik a round, they've allowed him to find some confidence, but they've also allowed Nordik to carry out a good top floor clearance, which is something that Nordik have sort of avoided and struggled with before that. So I'm not sure whether that, momentum wise, mind game wise, is going to be the best idea. But that being said, they're back on the top floor site, the popular site, the one that they've no doubt practiced the most, Armory Lockers. They've got Maestro in, as you say. They're bringing out the big guns. There's, no question of that. Quite literally with the Alder. We've got Move and Panari who are playing hard in CCTV. We've got Stigi and Kolensky playing hard around the office and fountain area. So they're certainly not giving up either of the corners of the map easily. We've got some good progress from Nordik. They've got in and got East Stairs control. That was never going to be difficult because it's not overly being challenged. We do have a mirror watching it. We've got Move who is looking down that corridor from the CCTV area. So they can't linger around East Stairs, but they do have control there. And they're going to start looking to push towards office initially. Like I say, NYYRIKKI have made this actually very, very difficult because when you look at the top floor of border, you're looking for either office or CCTV control to build your attack from. By putting 2 men in each, they're making it difficult for the team to decide where to go, and that is another element of wasting time, that decision-making process of where do we approach. We're going to see Lion. Oh, what a great shot there from Move. Manages to get the kill onto Lion and clear off the Hibana charges from the mirror. So that is going to allow Stigi to stay in location for the time being. He hears the barricade going out behind him. He knows he might have to make a challenge. He's got the gun for it. The Vector's a headshot machine at close range. So Stigi has certainly got life left to play. 1 minute 30 to go.
The big problem so far is that no one shot that speaker outside, and all we've had to listen to is the announcement telling people to get to the helicopter. But I'm really glad the Maestro has been played. You can see there the value it provided in destroying the X-Kairos pellets onto the mirror that Stigi is still playing with 2 minutes of the round already gone. He's still causing himself a nuisance despite the fact that triple wall is open. He is going to be full flashed right now and no doubt going to be seeing some pressure from both sides as Schinker and Walsh do look to progress on into the site through the window. But no, it's going to be Kolensky with the SMG-11 at long range, going to find Ash's head, and that is going to make it 5 versus 3. All of a sudden it's looking very, very difficult for Nordik to come out of this one alive. Stigi with the aggressive peek round is going to take out Sal's, and Schinker making his way into the single window will find one, but not before Panari finds one onto Crisco. So it is actually a 1 versus 3 for Schinker. Toxic Bays are coming through. 25 seconds left. The wall will likely be open in this scenario, but we're not sure if Smoke is playing with impacts or not. It is a crouch at Kairos experiment, so it will be more difficult to destroy. But the Alder, the clutch master, is going to be finishing that round, finding that final kill. Look at all the rounds he had to play with there. He was just able to dump 81 bullets through the smoke. Easy.
I would love to see, if Ubisoft have stats, please release the data for how many round-winning kills Maestro gets with the Alder, because it's absolutely ridiculous. He really does just open up, like you say. He can pretty much just put rounds out for the last 7 or 8 seconds of a round without even taking his finger off the trigger. But I think Nordik just really struggled to clear Stigi out there. That was the big thing for me. The mirror was allowed to play in there for far too long. He was supported very well by Move after he cleared the Hibana rounds, got the kill first of all, and then cleared the Hibana rounds off the mirror to keep him in situ. And they just really didn't have an answer to that after that point. You could suggest that maybe a rotation to West Wall would have been a better idea, but at that point, I think it was just too little too late. They were down to 3 men and they were really starting to flounder. And NYYRIKKI took full advantage of that, and they didn't get overexcited. They didn't really chase the kills. They played sensibly. They waited for players to come into their line of sight wherever possible. and they got themselves a win. Put themselves onto match point, and they're back to ventilation, which they won convincingly last time. Nordik this time really need to pay more attention to the top floor.
Bomb located by attackers.
And it's a shame because Nordik have showed us that they are capable of a top floor roam clear. They did attack onto bathroom and tellers very well. They cleared out offices, they were able to clear out armory, and they were able to move on and get a plant down and win the round. So they've shown us that they are capable of clearing out that top floor roam. I think it's a case of they kind of had to for bathroom tellers because of all the operators of NYYRIKKI that were playing it there. They had to commit to clearing out offices. But they've just got to treat this round as very much the same. All the players in Nordik have to commit to that top floor roam clear. Get it done quickly, get it done effectively, get it done efficiently in terms of lives lost and utility spent, and then try to progress down onto the site. It isn't beyond the realms of possibility for them to pick up the round here, but with the way that they're all shaping up outside main door, I can't help but think we're going to see a bit of a rush, or at least a rush attempt from the players of Nordik. But look at NYYRIKKI, Oscar move and Kalinski all well placed downstairs. They've not even had time to rotate upstairs yet, but they've been able to cut this off and sort of falter this aggressive push very early on. Now Thermite will look to open up the tension, and all of a sudden nearly a minute has been wasted. The tension now open. It is going to be on the players of Nordik to figure out what they're able to do with this control, but they all sort of sprinted toward the double door and then just kind of stopped and didn't really continue all that much. Lion going to be doing some drone work. No doubt going to figure that Panari's playing upstairs in CCTV as he has been all game. And now they're going to choose to go upstairs and to try and clear this top floor.
Yeah, Panari had a bit of a field day. He managed to get himself a very nice 2-kill and made an absolute nuisance of himself last time playing top floor on the ventilation objective. So it really is something that they need to take care of. We're going to see Crisco and Salzum coming in with that quick double kill, and that is going to clear CCTV, moving Panari their victims. So that leaves us 5 versus 3 now, 1.5 minutes to go, and plenty of opportunity for Nordik here. NYYRIKKI need to be picking up a couple of quick kills, I would suggest, to level things out. They don't want to be getting into the last 45 seconds with a 5 versus 3, but it is going to be a matter of patience for the NYYRIKKI players. They don't really have any option of rotating too far out of sight now. They do have the mirror up on top floor, just looking to see if he can get a cheeky kill or two on anybody on that west balcony, but I don't think he's going to have any joy. If the rotation has been opened with the hatch back into sight, that's going to give him an opportunity to move back quickly. Kalinski looking like he's just keeping himself alive there, and he's going to get the first kill on to Lion. 45 seconds to go, and we are now 3 versus 4. Walshy with the kill onto Kalinski though. That leaves Oscar Mosca and Stigi with it all to do. Oscar Mosca still looking to roam. They're certainly wanting to take the fight to Nordik here, and that is exactly what he's going to do with the first kill there onto Salzum. 2 versus 3. NYYRIKKI certainly hanging on well. Every time they lose a man, they do seem to trade it back out. Shinka with a kill onto Oscar Mosca, but it will be too much to ask of Stigi as Walshy moves in with that kill, and Nordik take the round on ventilation and keep themselves fighting for another day.
And it really didn't look like a round that they were well placed to take at the start. The way that the push came through relatively slowly and a little bit uncertain, it looked as though they really wanted to just, you know, shift W into sight, and then they kind of decided they were going to have to clear out upstairs, and then that kind of started to work out for him. And as the trades came through, it was just a little bit too much for Oscar Mosca and Kalinski to do. They had the opportunity there to really be able to develop that crossfire onto Customs downstairs, but with the way that the pressure came through from the attackers, it just wasn't possible. Maybe partly due to the SMG-11 on Oscar Mosca, maybe just feeling a little bit of the limitations there of that gun when you're looking to engage multiple enemies in one sitting. But it is going to allow ventilation room and workshop to be selected yet again, and we're going to see a 6-pick switch there from the mirror over onto the mute. So Stiggy thinking that the mute's maybe going to provide a little bit more value as opposed to the mirror. We've seen a heck of a lot of mirror played tonight, and it isn't always the case as when mirror is available. She isn't even always chosen because teams have got so used to playing without mirrors that it just can be an operator that they don't even consider anymore to practice with, to scrim with. because Mira's usually such a staple ban. So nice to see her not being selected when she's available, because I think the game has developed past that point of Mira needing to be in every single lineup, especially with the introduction of the pick and ban system. And maybe Stiggy on the mute is just going to be able to deny a little bit of the drone information, deny some of the hard breach potential if necessary, and obviously he's still got a C4 and a beast of a shotgun, so he's able to get the kills as well.
Reasonably similar setup here from NYYRIKKI. We're going to have Panari up on that top floor looking to play CCTV again. By the looks of it, he's got himself quite a bit of utility up there. Move did get him a few goo mines down to help him out, but then he's dropped into customs, and it looks like he's going to be playing to challenge the thermite breach into detention, which I'm fairly sure they're confident would happen, given that they've done that every time. They're certainly keen on applying bottom floor pressure. Nordik, like I say, last time they got themselves upstairs, and they did a good job of very quickly clearing out those roamers upstairs, but it's, I think, again going to hinge on how well they do that. Salzam looking to approach the passport entrance now. We've got Move still playing around that customs area, just looking to challenge. He is going to be droned out. He will shoot the drone and will have to change his position, but it looks like he's about to be challenged, but he holds a very tight angle there, and neither of these players wanting to move together just yet. We've got Walshy holding an angle, Move holding an angle. It really is a case of who is going to blink. In comes the drone from Salzam to try and help Walshy, and he's going to follow that in quickly, but he does just dip out to supply room, get on the drone of his own. Maybe he just didn't quite have the confidence to push that quickly. He's going to instead get a nice peek through the soft wall, but will miss his shots. 1 minute 30, and he's just struggling now, Walshy, to push out of that detention area.
What was the timing on that single hit and then peeking on into sight? Incredible timing there. Panari still playing upstairs, able to provide support to anyone playing down below in customs, but a double push will come through, and Lion picking up the double there is going to make it 5 versus 3 in favour of Nordik. So Nordik really grabbing some momentum now, and that round on Bathroom Tellers could be coming back to haunt the players of NYYRIKKI, as now we find ourselves in a 5 versus 2. Kolensky upstairs in Fountain. He's got a lot to do here if he's going to look to try and rotate back down onto the site and rejoin the fight. Walshy will find the kill onto Oscar Mosca. Site control is entirely Nordic's, and the kills are going to be hunted for now, as Salz is going to be the final one to grab that kill over onto Kolensky. Still upstairs. There we go, just moving through into CCTV, maybe looking to try and drop the hatch and rejoin the fight from there, but it will not be a factor. NYYRIKKI have looked very well placed to take this game for a good number of rounds now. They've sat on match point since, well, they've been on, I think it was 5-2, and then 5-4, and 6-4, so now 6-5. So they've been on match point and in and around match point for a good number of rounds now, and they really need to start looking to close this out. But props to the Nordic team. They are really, really stepping up, and they are showing us that they are here to play.
Yeah, I find it strange NYYRIKKI have only taken the Armory Lockers objective once. You know, I know teams have the favoured objectives and they practice certain things, but they've took it once, they've won it once, and they won it extremely convincingly. So I'm sort of surprised to see that maybe try ventilation on your first match point. When that doesn't come off, you know, don't necessarily go back there again. Fire yourself up to Armory. It's a site that you've done well on so far. You know, mix things up and see if you can take the win up there instead. Now, there's pressure on because, you know, it all comes down to this round. You know, there's then further challenge coming in against them. So I'm a little bit surprised about the site selection there. But we're going to move into round number 12 nonetheless. Nordik showing great stamina, great mental persistence to keep themselves in the fight here. And we're going to have a lot of resource again being applied to CCTV. What happened so well for NYYRIKKI last time out was 2 men in CCTV, 2 men in officers, and they just made it very difficult to approach either. And then where do you start your attack from? You know, it becomes very difficult. You can't just work towards West Wall because somebody's going to run out of office onto you. So it becomes very, very tricky indeed.
Yeah, and that's where you see the more experienced teams maybe that are able to execute that sort of split attacking push, where they're able to push effectively from either side or from multiple different angles. Nordic so far, It's not to say that they're not very well experienced, but they do seem to like to stack up, and they do seem to push very well from one location, as as they're able to get the trades and they're able to deploy their utility in that way. They do seem to work very well together in that scenario. If they're going to try and effectively attack onto the way that this defense is set up, they're really going to want to look to concentrate on pushing either CCTV or offices, and then be set up in a position to be able to get the trades and to get the rotation kills as defenders rotate from one to another. Lion already going to open things up with a kill onto Panari, and then just backwards fall off the building to reset himself back up to 50 hit points. As he did lose quite a few in that early engagement, but he will take that, I am sure, as Panari on the Jaeger has done some very good work so far for his side, being a pretty good staple there over in CCTV. Now, what's Ash doing here? Ash is trying to get a Ash charge through onto the Maestro Evil Eye. So they're playing with the wall partly soft and the Evil Eye there so that they can make calls off it, and it is going to be obviously non-destructible to bullets, or bulletproof should I say, but the Ash charge will just find that skinny nice angle to be able to take that out. So great heads up play there from Walsh there, just deploying his utility in the right way to avoid Oscar Mosca having too much information to be able to peek off there. Move going to get a kill of his own onto Chris, equaling out that man count to 4 apiece with about a minute left on the clock.
So it is all poised coming into this final minute. We see that Nordik have got themselves good CCTV control. They're even able to use some of those rotations against the defenders. Move will get a good kill onto Walshe, challenged even when flashed, and Salzam is now going to have to move to challenge the same angle. Lion joins him. Is Move going to get a second? No, he's not. That's a good rotation from Lion, just to support his teammates and square things away, bringing it to 3 versus 3. So we've only got Shinka upstairs at the minute. Lion will move back up the main stairs, but will take a goo mine for his trouble. So that's going to lose him some vital HP. He is, however, going to get a fantastic headshot onto Kolensky, but Oscar Mosca will trade that straight back out. And here comes that big, powerful Alder. Once again, we've already commented how many rounds this Alder finishes off. Now 2 versus 1. Salzam has it all to do. 15 seconds. He certainly doesn't have time on his side. He just tries to get the quickest view that he can. He even has to get through the barricade, and Oscar Mosca takes his head off to win the game. That one goes in favour of NYYRIKKI, and that will take us on to map number 2.
What is that for a headshot through the wall? One tap is plenty. Oscar Mosca there, really, it didn't really matter what gun you've got at that point. It was a headshot, so I'm not having that count towards the older clutch stats. But what a great game there for both sides. Nordik showing brilliant resolve, coming back from, I believe it was 5-2, bringing it up to a scoreline of 7-5 in favour of NYYRIKKI. Nordik have got to be pretty pleased with themselves at that one. They've managed to take some good rounds there off a Challenger League team.
Yeah. A fantastic match to watch as well. You know, we saw some new things tried there. We saw some different strategies that we don't always see, and different locations being held. And again, it's just showing that slight shift in the meta towards those new options that we're seeing. So great stuff so far from NYYRIKKI and Nordik. We do have another map to come. That is going to be Coastline. We're going to take a very short break once again, and then we'll get straight back into that for you. So stick around 5 minutes or so, and we'll be back with the conclusion of this match.
It's been a minute, got none of the vows. Yet another gimmick, yeah, you said hold on, but I didn't feel it, yeah, you said hold on, but I didn't feel it. Just play
Coming back. Coming back.
Hi everyone and welcome back to CCS EU Season 4. We are halfway through a thrilling match so far between NYYRIKKI and Nordik. We have just seen NYYRIKKI squeeze the win 7-5 on Border, so that's going to put them one map up. Don't forget we are playing best of twos, so Nordik are now going to be fighting for that draw. NYYRIKKI are going to be looking to take all 3 points in their first CCS fixture. What do you think about that first map there, X?
We saw a pretty clear-cut couple of rounds there from NYYRIKKI. They did a really good job of being able to take some early control. They were very concise and clear in their attacks and their intentions. And then all of a sudden, one round on Bathroom Tellers, it all started to go the way of Nordik. And they were able to build some momentum off that and really pick up some rounds. And, you know, NYYRIKKI's mistakes or Nordik taking advantage of opportunity, you can decide for yourselves which one it was. But ultimately, they were able to take a good few rounds, bringing it to 7-5, was it, I believe?
7-5.
And we are going to be moving in now to Coastline. We are going to be looking at the operator bans. And let's see what we can find ourselves here. No doubt Glaz is going to be a ban on Coastline, as he is a ban on nearly every single map. There we go. Wouldn't be surprised to see the same bans as last time, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Dockerby ban come in. The disruption, especially with Lion being quarantined now. By the time you take Dockerby out as well, you're losing almost all of that global push-button disruption. So she's certainly seeing an increase in ban rate. Blackbeard, not a massive surprise for Coastline. Very, very powerful operator from DJ Booth, Hooker area, from Double Window on Penthouse. He's got very, very flexible areas of operation as Blackbeard. So not too much of a surprise. Valkyrie is Valkyrie's use can be limited on Coastline. We do sometimes see other operators banned ahead of her. She does have some great cam spots externally if you're playing the hooker billiards objective. Other than that, not always too much use, but Mirror following that, so not too much of a surprise. Echo and Maestro on the cards. I think we're going to see plenty of those 2x.
Well, we didn't really see Nordik making all too much use of Maestro in their early rounds. It was really on the side of NYYRIKKI to choose to bring Maestro and really show us what Maestro is capable of and why he is banned so often. So it'd be nice for Nordik to get themselves onto that a little bit quicker. As we see Salz there is going to jump straight onto Maestro, Shinka straight onto the Echo, really going to take the most advantage that they can of those two hard denial operators there. Stiggy there choosing to start on the Dockerby and switching over to the Ash. Could see a 6 pick there. I'm not sure why we're bringing the IQ. I understand the value in being able to find and destroy the yokai drones, but with Valk being banned, I don't know if there's a better operator that you could bring maybe than IQ. I do feel that, there we go. The use has been fulfilled through the 6 pick from Lion there, moving from the Jaeger over onto the Pulse. I believe now it is worthwhile to bring the IQ. You're going to be able to spot Pulse on the heartbeat scanner, and you're also going to be able to spot those yokai drones, which is an advantage, although not always necessary, as they can sometimes be found with the naked eye. But we are going to be looking onto Billiards and Sunrise as our first defensive location. Sometimes this is a site you do see preferred if there is a mirror in play, as mirror can be used on this site to good effect, but we are going to see the castle, which is going to be able to block off some of those doorways that can be a little bit pesky when looking to defend down here.
Absolutely. I think, a great attacking strategy is to get yourself upstairs. There's certainly lines of sight that can be opened from Billiards and Hooker. We saw absolutely fantastic use of vertical play last time out, so I would expect to see at least 1 or 2 of the Nordik defenders staying up top. You've also then got the potential to push from the office side and the Sunrise side simultaneously. There are a lot of lines of sight and angles into this blue bar objective, so it's certainly not an easy one to hold. We're going to see an early push coming forward. It looks like it's going to be a top floor clear as Oscar Mosca moves straight up to the rooftop along with Kolensky. So I'm sure they're going to possibly take the opportunity to look down on those balconies, hold the rotate, see if they can pick up a kill or 2 of any defenders playing top floor.
And it's a great place to get to as an attacker because, like you say, there's a lot of lines of sight that can be gained, and there is plenty that you can do from the roof. It can be a good entry point as well, jumping down onto the luggage balcony and moving through luggage and aquarium can garner some results sometimes as well. But Panari currently going to be just playing outside of Sunrise and Blue, just conscious that he could be getting peeked out onto. Move now going to be doing his job at destroying any electronics that he can find. I'm not sure if that was Pulse he just got a glimpse of there on the scanner or if it was the bomb. Couldn't quite tell. Kolensky over in South Hallway, just going to be placing a Claymore. It's going to be a good early warning system, and it is going to allow the attackers to operate with a little bit more surety upstairs. Now rotating down into office, and I'm pretty surprised to see both teams still have 5 players left alive. Dockerby Call is going to come out from Stig, but he isn't really going to be able to do too much with it. Just playing really slow and steady currently over in service. Not sure if he's aware that Maestro is playing the other side of that reinforced wall over in kitchen, but not all too much that can be done about it just yet. Kolensky there, I think he narrowly missed out on that yokai drone as the diffuser is going down. That yokai drone could be used to try and falter the plant. You can see it there just on the ceiling. It is going to get shot out by Oscar Mosca, and I can't imagine that the plant is going to go down with all 5 players remaining on both sides. Walshy will open things up, and then 2 quick kills come back from NYYRIKKI in reply before Lion grabs one of his own. The plant will continue to go down now as Lion is just trying to pre-fire and find something through the wall, but unable able to do so. Shinka is going to grab the kill onto the planting Oscar Mosca, and Move is going to trade one out onto Sal's. All of a sudden, with Panari picking up one onto Shinka as well. 2 versus 1 is the situation that Lion's going to find himself in, but no, he's able to grab another kill. He can't rotate due to the castle barricade, but that isn't a huge problem, as he is going to be able to move through kitchen. He is working off information as well. You can see the pings coming through the soft wall, and Move is going to be going for the kill in this situation. Lion still has a C4 at his disposal. He doesn't know that the bomb is going down. He maybe heard it there. It did get baited out by Move. Who's going to get the final kill? It will be Move, grabbing the headshot there onto Lion. NYYRIKKI narrowly taking that first round.
Great effort from Nordik on the defense there. Managed to, I think it was Shinka moved in and got a very important kill onto Oscar Mosca to just deny that diffuser from being successfully planted, but it just didn't prove to be enough in the end. Lion certainly having a fantastic attempt at a 1v2 clutch there, but just loses that gunfight to the IQ of Move. So that's going to send the first round in the direction of NYYRIKKI, and I think it's important here for Nordik not to let themselves get too far behind. NYYRIKKI will be looking to come out strong here and take a good first attacking phase so that they can get themselves some real breathing room. Don't forget, we're best of 2. They've already won 1 map, so if they want to take all the points, they have to win this one here. And I'm sure they're going to have learnt lessons from Border. I commented on it at the time, but they did take a round where they went to tellers, and it just allowed Nordik to find the feet a little bit and get a good top floor clearance done, and then they really seem to struggle to close the match out after that. So I'm sure they're not going to want to be opening any windows to allow Nordik to work their way back in through. But we're going to be seeing the Nomad now. There's quite a few run-outs potential on Coastline, but I don't think that's really going to be too much of the use that we're going to see for Nomad. I think we're going to see something more similar to what we saw on Oregon earlier, and that is moving those defenders out of the position and looking to pick up the kills.
Yeah, I do quite like the switch onto the Nomad there from Stig. The Dockerby didn't really do all that much for him last round. He did manage to get a call out, but I don't think anybody really was able to act upon that call. It is difficult to say because we can't cycle through all the 5 players, defenders' point of views as that call comes through and figure out what happens to them. But I think it was probably a good switch there, as we have seen Nomad used to some very good effect. Lion as well, he started out on the Clash. He 6-picked over onto the Alibi. Not too much of a surprise. I didn't think that Clash was the operator that they were really needing in that scenario. Usually, Lion's usually better with a gun in his hand from what we've seen so far, but he has seemed to have played quite a large spread of operators this evening. Moved around a heck of a lot on Border, moving around quite a bit now as well already, and it's only the 2nd round. I'd like to see a little bit more of a defined role that he finds himself in, because it's all very well and good to have a bit of a flex operator, but he did a great job with Pulse last time, and in different circumstances maybe could have got a nitro sell off, maybe would have won that 1 versus 2 in the final few seconds. So I don't know that the Alibi brings all that much, as he is going to be taking out first blood there as well. So maybe a bit of caster's curse there, Lion. Sorry about that, but yeah, just a bit unfortunate maybe.
IQ using that scanner then to great effect to take out goo mines. That's at least 3 taken out. We'll have to work around those floor beams and won't, I think, manage to get that one. But that is great use of utility there to get those goo mines cleared out and just help that late push on to site. So Shinka as the smoke hard in Sunrise now, along with the Legion of Crisco. And NYYRIKKI doing a good job here of just pinning the defenders back into the site. They've got one out in kitchen, but they're even in an opportunity now to start thinking about potential plants. They're just looking to bait out that utility of the smoke, of the potential frag nades, of the impact nades, and just get those cleared out before going to get the plant. Walshy just holding an extremely tight angle, and it will be too tight as he loses his life to Kolensky. Crisco meanwhile getting the kill onto Move. That's going to leave us 4 versus 2 now, and that will be 4 versus 1 as Stigi moves in with the kill on to Crisco. So that's going to allow Oscar Mosca to think about a plant, but it won't be needed as Panari gets in with a headshot onto Shinka, and that is another round going to NYYRIKKI.
Brilliant attacking round there from NYYRIKKI. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they knew exactly how they were going to execute. Just a real good, simple push through offices. Good pressure coming from the bottom of Cool Vibe stairs as well. And you can see there from the scores, they're doing very well in terms of their life economy as well. 1 death apiece for the players on NYYRIKKI as they are moving on and being very successful in that attack down onto Blue Bar and Sunrise. It is now time, I think, Nordik, to switch things up. They are going to change and go over to Penthouse and Theatre. I'm not sure why they're not going into Hooker. Hooker seems a better choice for me at this point in time. It is worth mentioning that Nordik's map pick is Coastline as well. So to kind of come out and lose the first 2 rounds downstairs in Blue Bar is a little bit of a disappointment to come into your own map pick. I'm not sure how Penthouse and Theatre is going to run, especially with the Maverick. Maverick can be really devastating on this objective. If Maverick is able to get any control whatsoever of main stairs and start to open up little murder holes in that back Theatre wall, which has just been opened with a grenade.
That's quite a big murder hole.
That's a big murder hole from the Maverick. Well played. You don't see that. And I'm not sure what the idea is. I'm looking forward to this. Nordik have obviously got an idea of how they wish to hold. Are they going to try and do a bit of an extended hold maybe and keep control of aquarium and luggage? It does seem like quite a tall order, but it is something relatively, it could be seen as unexpected. 2 ACOGs as well playing it over in that billiards area, and they're investing a heck of a lot of reinforcement and utility over there. I just hope they don't spread themselves a little bit too thin on the ground in an attempt to try and hold this.
Certainly going to be interesting to watch round number 3 play out then. We've got NYYRIKKI making some early progress with move, getting straight into service entrance and through into kitchen. We've got Walshy down there. He's no doubt going to have just pinged Oscar Mosca coming up to DJ booth, so that information will be getting fed back to his team from the pulse. He's playing over on the hooker side there, but I think as soon as NYYRIKKI start realising how thinly spread across this top level the defenders are, they're playing very, very separate. I think the pressure will start to move in quickly. We've got Stige up on the roof with the Maverick. He's just looking for any opportunity he can get. In comes the ping, and that's going to send Oscar Mosca in towards VIP. He's going to get that wall open from distance. He just sees the defender moving in, and he gets the kill onto Lion, and I'm not really sure exactly what Lion was doing there. At the end of the day, there were Hibana pellets on the wall. Surely he must know there's somebody at double window, and he just didn't even really make any attempt to challenge. So that's a great kill there to take the dock off the board from Oscar Mosca, and that's surely going to allow them to get that VIP wall open and start putting some pressure directly onto the Penthouse site.
I'm not sure what the hold is that's coming through, because I don't believe that VIP wall's even fully reinforced. So there we go. Zafia is able to make a hole in that. Legion playing down behind the crowd, behind the reinforcement, is going to grab one as Salz grabs another. So 2 kills there. Pretty unexpected from Nordik, because they aren't really in the best position, it seems, but they are making it work very well for themselves, saying that Panari is able to peek around and just pick up that kill onto Salz. He's got Stevie backing him up in the bathroom as well. Pre-fire shots do come out. Panari's going to cook a grenade and just see if he can find a frag, but no, Shinka is going to cut him down, and that is... Oh, but he is going to get Crisco down in the process. The plant will start to go down now. It is 2 versus 4. C4 from below from Walsh. This hold is all of a sudden starting to pay out for Nordik. Stiggy now left, last man alive. He's got to make a push on, doesn't manage to do it. Shinka grabbing that final kill. I'm not sure how, because if you look at the way that site was set up, it didn't look very defensible, but Nordik definitely had an idea. They definitely had a plan and a strategy, and they made it work very well for themselves, picking up this first round for them, or the first defensive win, should I say, on Coastline.
Yeah, that's a round I'm definitely going to be going back to have another look over and see just exactly how that panned out, because so often we see that rear theatre wall being opened up and the rest of the round just sort of falls apart from there for the defenders. They did it themselves, and NYYRIKKI just never really applied any pressure to that side of the map. It was almost as if the defenders knew that the NYYRIKKI push was going to come from Hooker and VIP, and that it did. So maybe not enough flexibility on the NYYRIKKI side just to change things up once the drones had gone in and they'd seen where the utility had been focused. But that being said, not to take anything away from Nordik, they obviously had a plan in mind and they executed it well, and that got them their first defensive round on the board. So that's going to put us into 2-1 now on the scoreline. NYYRIKKI coming into round number 4 on the attack again. They've got 3 attacking rounds remaining, and I'm sure they're going to be looking to take as much advantage as they can now coming into hooker and billiards. It's going to be fairly similar attack, I would have thought, to what they've just tried to do on Penthouse. I wouldn't be surprised to see them try and get VIP control again. If you can get the wall opened up that Walshy is currently reinforcing, you can get some great lines of sight directly into the bomb site, so that's always a popular one. And then push a couple of men from the aquarium side as well, and it can be quite easy to hold the rotates down and stop people moving back from down.
See how it plays out indeed, but with the way that Nordik held last round, it does look very enthusing, as I do believe that we are going to have a good game on our hands here, and it isn't going to be so clear cut for NYYRIKKI. They're really going to have to apply themselves and figure out just how to combat the way that Nordik seem to be liking to hold. We are going to see the Doc be back again for Stig. He has got a drone downstairs over in Penthouse, looking maybe to drop the hatch into bathroom, as Kalensky there just trying to apply a little bit of pressure to the double window. It's just going to make defenders think twice about freely rotating through the site. If he comes, I'm not sure if he's going to push all the way through, but if he did, he would come to blows with Crisco. Crisco just playing outside of sort of Sunrise Blue and Kitchen in that little 90 hallway area, but just playing his life. The Dockerby call will come through, and that could be influential into how his round plays out for him. Walshy just going to kill his phone at the top of main stairs. But Crisco hasn't really seemed to move all that much, which is strange because the pressure was really coming through. He's been droned now, so Move is going to have a good call out as to where he is going to be located. But look at the time that he's able to waste. He's also got a player backing him up from Cool Vibe Stairs, and I don't think that this is going to end too well for Move if he continues to push the way that he does. Shinka misses the shots with the SMG-11. Not the best gun for that kind of a range engagement, and it is going to allow Move just to rotate back. But a slower round coming out this time as we are into the second half, and we do still have 10 players left alive.
Yep, and NYYRIKKI now have it all to do with Walshy coming out and getting that first kill. That is going to be the Zafir off the board, so some important utility lost as well, but Ponari will move in using that information and call out and get that trade, so that will take the Roma off the board. But I think Lion, here's Oscar Mosca move in, and he'll get a double kill on the Auda as he gets the kill onto Ponari as well, and he also knows that they've got the diffuser down. Crisco getting the kill onto Move, and that's 1 versus 4 for Stigi now, and this is an uphill battle. He won't even make it over the railing before Lion brings him down with the Auda for the 3k. Great plays from Nordik on the hooker defense.
And Nordik are doing a great job of chaining some rounds together. It's a very different team to the team that we saw in the first couple of rounds when they were downstairs in Blue Bar. Of course, they're going to have to go back down to Blue Bar yet again. They could go to Kitchen. Kitchen is an option that is available to them, but and I'm not sure why they're not taking it, because Blue Bar's been very convincing for NYYRIKKI, so it could be a bit of a momentum shift, or they may have the momentum that they need now after they've successfully defended upstairs in Penthouse and Billiards. We will have to see. I like seeing Lion back on the pulse. I do hope that he doesn't 6-pick out of that, because in the first round he did pick up a good number of kills, and it did come down to a 1 versus 1.
So looking towards round number 5 then, that to the Blue Bar, just waiting to see if we have any 6th picks. It does not look as though we will, so the lineups will stay as is. Yeah, Nordik certainly going to have to do something different to what they've done previously on this site. They've really struggled. To be honest, we've seen NYYRIKKI come in and just gain good control of office, open up the wall behind Blue Bar, and then they've just pushed in and either planted or killed people as they've been attempting to plant. They've also made good use of the courtyard. I think they picked up a kill onto Walshy in there when he moved himself in and got himself tight behind Blue Bar to try and get a cheeky kill or 2 through the breach. So they've made great use of that south side of the map and sort of southeast corner. I'm sure they're going to look to do much the same, because Nordik really haven't had an answer. We've got Crisco in there putting some goo mines down, trying to slow things down. Doesn't seem to be much of a vertical presence. I think it's, you know, largely much of the same for Nordik here. I think they're out of ideas for this site, to be honest.
I think they've got ideas. It's just that NYYRIKKI are very good at being able to counter those, and the way that they're pushing it is proving, you know, they're able to counter pretty much everything that Nordik are looking to achieve in holding this site. If Nordik want to be successful, I believe they've got to keep a firmer hold of aquarium and luggage, and then they're going to be able to use main lobby and the Lamborghini door to rotate through and to be able to get kills onto anybody that is trying to plant. That wall, that door, sorry, is castled this time, so that is going to make their job a little bit more difficult, but they have opened up the soft wall, so a little bit of a question mark there as to what exactly is going on in that scenario. Oscar Mosca making his way, just looking in a bit of drone work, seeing if he is going to be clear to come into offices as Panari opens it. Now that hatch really should be open, and somebody from Nordik should be playing upstairs to try and hold a little bit vertically, and just to keep, you know, this is just free real estate at the minute for NYYRIKKI. They're able to walk into offices pretty much unchecked, unchallenged, nobody playing over in server, and it is going to allow the wall to be open. The hatch is soft, so nobody going to rotate down either. Very difficult now for Nordik to try and retake that side of the map and that vertical control. C4 kill will come out from Lion. That is going to be onto the IQ, so that is going to be opening things up a little bit. It could allow some of his teammates upstairs to rotate up into aquarium and get some sort of control of the hatch. The wall will be open now, and that is going to be on to Lion to push through, but he doesn't manage to grab the kill. 2 quick kills come out in favor of Nordik earlier than that, though, before Oscar Moscas does cut down Lion. But man count is still looking very good for Nordik, and this hold does seem to be working this time a little bit better than it has in the previous 2 attempts.
Certainly does, and we've got 1 minute left on the clock, 2 versus 4, and it is all to do for NYYRIKKI, or they will find themselves behind on this map for the first time. 1 versus 4 now, as Salzman gets the kill onto Oscar Mosca, and it's a matter of time for Crisco to take the head of Kalensky, and that will finish things out for Nordik. They've certainly found the feet here, and it will now be 3-2 in favour of Nordik, and that, as I said, is the first time that NYYRIKKI have found themselves behind on Coastline. I think it's actually the first time they've found themselves behind on any map to Nordik, because I'm pretty sure they were ahead throughout the border game. So 3-2 now, and what can Nordik do with this lead? I think they could really do with a successful defence here to get themselves 4-2 into the half. They're going to go back to Penthouse. Not too much of a surprise. We saw a comprehensive win from them there. A little bit of an unorthodox approach to it. We will see if they do the same thing, if NYYRIKKI might maybe choose to do things differently, push through luggage, push up main stairs, maybe attack that theatre side, because I still have to think that is where a lot of the weakness comes in this defence.
I mean, even if you just get yourself onto the window that's on top of main stairs, even if you just get yourself onto the window that you can see at the top right of your screen right now, you could have a little bit of success in just holding that rotation. And it is going to get opened yet again. I can see the value in opening it as a defender if you're not playing inside of theatre, if that isn't the bomb location. But when that's the location, I think, you know, a real quick rush through that window and main stairs could see site control lost very early on. I don't believe that that's what NYYRIKKI are going to look to do. I think that they're going to look to try and clear out these ACOGs that are going to be playing off-site, trying to play long angles. And I think that that's more likely as to what NYYRIKKI are going to do. Is Lion going to go for a run out here? Please, let's see some sort of spawn peek action.
I think that's exactly what you're going to see.
Oh, no, he's going for a drone. It's so
Just went
boring.
for the drone. He's looking for the Canadian.
No, we don't want to see that. We want to see the full run out.
I want to see a full run out. I want to see him gun the entire team. I want an ace on the run out. But it won't be on the cards today. Panari get himself up to the rooftop. He's going to open that hatch with Sledge. So that's going to give them the immediate option of the bathroom drop. And they are going to be looking to probably cut off the rotates from the skylight area where we are now. I think that's certainly what's happening. They're putting shots in towards the billiards area. See if they can pick anything up. And then is Oscar Mosca? No, he's going to drop and possibly go towards the double window. I think somebody's going to be looking to play the double window here, and that can be a very, very powerful location. Get that shot out there. It's at least going to turn the defenders' heads, and it looks like he's going to bail away from that for the time being, but it does mean that it's prepped and ready at least. 2 minutes to go, 5 on each side, and not too much progress made by NYYRIKKI yet.
I'd like to see the push from NYYRIKKI coming out from the other end. I'd like to see them attacking more on Aquarium and more on Hooker, because that's where you've got the ACOGs playing. That's where the players are going to be able to rotate back into, and that's really what you've got to try and cut off if you can, because there's so much offside presence. You just can't ignore it, especially with how open and unreinforced Nordik are playing. I mean, look at the angle currently played by Shinku. He's crouched behind the billiards table, and he's got a line of sight all the way into the objective, through the soft wall between VIP and master bedroom or penthouse, and he can see all the way through to the door. Now, that's not a shot he's going to hit consistently, but it is a line of sight that he does have, and he can push up further. Walsh also there, ready to defend and to try and aid, maybe even go for the cheeky run out onto DJ Booth, which he is going to do with great success, taking out Kalensky 4 versus 5 now in favour of Nordik. Lion is going to take a good few shots there, as he does now find himself over in theatre, challenging onto showers and bathroom area. He's able to juice himself back up, but there's no pressure whatsoever from NYYRIKKI coming from the theatre side. The Evil Eye will be destroyed and the wall will be open. Is going to make that theatre a very difficult place to sit as a defender now, as Panari grabs that kill onto Sal. So if those Evil Eyes aren't in a great location, they are going to be fixed and no longer any use. 2 quick kills come out. Move grabbing Walshy and Lion onto Oscar Mosca. 3 versus 3 now, as the plant will start to go down. No pulse from below this time, so Steegi will largely be safe, planting in the default plant spot, and Panari, all he's got to do is waste a bit of time from Hall of Fame. Steegi grabbing a kill as he comes off the defuse, but will get traded out straight away. Lion very vulnerable now. Panari surely is going to peek around and grab this kill. No, he's going to go for the grenade toss instead. Lion hears it, does run away, but Panari wasn't watching his 6. He wasn't watching it from VIP, and it is now going to leave the 2 ACOGs in Rook and Doc trying their best to defuse. Move is going to have to drop the hatch. Doesn't manage to pick up the kill. Shinka has his sights trained on the hatch drop, and a great retake there from the Nordik team.
Fantastic plays from Nordik there, and once again holding that unorthodox penthouse theatre defence, and I just can't help but think I'd love to have seen how different things could have been if NYYRIKKI had pushed the theatre and luggage side again, but they chose not to. They went with double window, they went with hatch, and it left them doing things like a risky rappel in through double window. They lost at least 1 man on that, and you know, potentially it's a man that you don't need to lose. Again, I'm just a little bit surprised by the attack on that, and that they haven't gravitated more towards that theatre side with the wall being opened for them, you know, and work through and clear those angles instead. But what's done is done. That leaves Nordik 4-2 up at the half, and they're going to switch onto the attacking side now. So far we have seen the defenders come out on top here, so that is something that we could see returned now that NYYRIKKI get onto the defence. They're going to be looking to get at least a couple of rounds quickly here and square things back away, but they're certainly going to have the work cut out for them, because the Nordik boys now are really finding the shots, and they're really starting to get the confidence and just get the feet beneath them now. And we're going to see, first of all, a hooker and billiard site. NYYRIKKI, pretty standard lineup really. The Bandit of Steegi, I'm not really sure what the plan is for the Bandit. They probably going to get the 4 panels that you see above you now, but they're not too difficult to clear off. There's soft floor beneath, and there's also the option from Cool Vibes stairs as well. So it's going to keep that wall closed for at least the time being against Hibana, but with a Thatcher on the cards, he should be able to land a Thatcher grenade somewhere nearby to get those cleared out.
Looking pretty good for Nordik then. They're really showing us why Coastline was their map pick. We've got some very unorthodox ways of holding onto Penthouse and Theatre, but they worked very, very well for them, even allowing 3 armor operators to rotate back to retake the site. You really can't argue with that. NYYRIKKI just didn't quite have enough on their attacking rounds, and that's reflected in the scoreline. 4-2 is a very is a very fair scoreline, I think, to come out of that first half with. We're, of course, now moving into the second phase, so it is NYYRIKKI's turn to show us what they've got on defense, and it is down to the Nordik team to show us what they've got on attack, as it is their map choice. They should be able to attack it as well as defend it very well, and I'm sure that we are going to see that in this round. Saying that, Caster's Curse for Oscar Mosca. Sal's showing us exactly what they're about, bringing us an opening kill there onto the castle, I'm not sure where that all went down, but a lot of pressure coming through for move into Hooker, as he has got Panari playing on the stairs. ADS is going to be placed there as well, so no unwanted grenades. Not that there are any on the side of the attack, but it is a popular strategy to drop a grenade through the vent above Cool Vibe stairs, but Panari not going to be falling for any of that silly nonsense this evening. Stiggy is down below over in servers. He has got an opportunity at a bit of a push over onto any players over in offices, although Crisco has just rotated up onto Aquarium balcony and will open up that castle barricade. Kolensky's in a very powerful position here because you can deny the plant pretty much all day from that corner if it does go down in the default spot on A. Saying that elsewhere, Panari is opening things up with a kill of his own over onto Walshy to bring this back to 4 versus 4 with about a minute left on the clock.
So we're going to see the pressure start to mount a little bit on site. I think this attack has just been a little bit static for me so far. Move with a great kill from the Alder there. Headshot onto Crisco. So that's going to take the Zofia off the board, and the threat from Aquarium will at least be quenched for the time being. But we have 2 more attackers moving in there now. Shinka and Salzam looking to work their way into site. They've got the diffuser in hand, so they can think about going for a plant, but they're certainly going to have to clear out the defenders holding angles on them before they can do. And that will be the first of them dead. Move on to Shinka. Panari onto Lion. That leaves us 1 versus 4. Salzam has it all to do, and they know exactly where he is. He'll collect the diffuser, but it's only a matter of time until Move gets his 3rd of the round and cleans things up for NYYRIKKI on the defence, and that certainly looked like a different NYYRIKKI to the one we've seen so far.
NYYRIKKI showing us that they are able to defend very well upstairs and showing us why they are that Challenge League team. And to be honest, there's no doubt on NYYRIKKI. They are a very good side. They're a very good roster, and they're more than capable of bringing this all the way back. But Nordik do have a little bit of the momentum. They got a little bit less since they did lose that last round, but it was a very good defense nonetheless from NYYRIKKI. Nordik now going to have to attack onto Blue Bar and Sunrise. It is a location that they had a lot of trouble with early on in this map. However, they did manage to find their feet, and they did manage to pick up a couple of defensive wins there as well. But they are this time going to be on the attacking side of things, so they are going to have to figure out what they're able to do and how they want to take this. Sal's there, just going to switch over from the Thatcher onto the Dockerby, just for that little bit of disruption and that ability to find out where these roamers are, if there are any playing off-site that can't be easily located. I'd like to see a different push this time. I'd maybe like to see a bit more of a B push. We've seen a lot of Office A pushes so far from NYYRIKKI, and they've been very good and they've worked quite well. I'd maybe like to see a little bit more of an aggressive B push. Try and get that castle barricade open. Get a bit of control over Kitchen as well. Currently no rotate between the sites. I'm sure that will change. But with Kitchen control and a bit of a rush over on into B, you can sometimes get that plant down right on top of B bomb, which is a hard wall, and it can be held relatively well from the door and the window. So I'd maybe like to see a little bit more pressure over there this time for the team.
Round number 8 then, and this one is going to be decisive, I feel, in this match. If NYYRIKKI can get the first 2 defensive rounds back to back and bring things back to 4-all, then I think Nordik are going to have a challenge ahead of them. If Nordik can take this one here and just keep themselves, send a message, keep themselves 2 clear, then maybe it is something that they can do to achieve that draw. As it stands, we've got players approaching from both the east and west side of the map, which is never a bad idea, just creating a bit of a pinch. We're going to have Walshy looking to move in upstairs, and Lion gets that first kill onto Move, the all-important Maestro. We've seen that Alder use the devastating effect so far. Is there going to be one for Walshy? This certainly is, with a brilliant headshot onto Panari. I like that one a lot. So that's going to bring us to 5 versus 3 now. Defenders largely falling back to site. Lion with another onto Kolensky, so that's Lion really pushing his team forward here. 2 minutes left to go, and Steegi will get the first kill for the defenders, so that will leave us now in a 4 versus 2 minute and 30 to go. Salzam with one onto Steegi. Oscar Mosca trades one back onto Crisco. So we are now 1 versus 3. Oscar Mosca with it all to do, and he does some of it to begin with. That's a kill onto Salzam. 1 versus 2 now. He just needs to break these down. As far as the attackers are concerned, they need to work as a pair. Shinka looks largely to be on his own here. Walshy is up above him on the Ash. I think Walshy needs to be coming down potentially through Kitchen or somewhere like that and just create a crossfire. The last thing they want to do is stack up, but one way or another, they need to work together here. Final minute, and there's the kill from Walshy. Great peek onto Oscar Mosca, and that's the round for Nordik.
So we did see it come down to a bit more of a frag fest, and that B control there was gained in the final few seconds of the round, which we were asking for earlier on. But a great round nonetheless from Nordik. NYYRIKKI going to choose to go down there again, as Hooker and Billiards will still be locked out for them. Not choosing to go over to Penthouse, despite the good success that Nordik saw over on that bomb site. You can see a good spread of kills there on the side of Nordik. A lot of players there. 5, 5, 3, 8, and 10 for Lion. Lion really doing some damage in this map for sure. But Blue Bar and Sunrise is going to be the location of the next round. We're, of course, 1 round away from match point for Nordik. NYYRIKKI, I don't think they're going to be too happy in where they currently sit. They really want to be looking to grab a couple more rounds here, and I think it could all start with a better defense of Blue Bar and Sunrise. It didn't really go all too well for them last round. They lost quite a couple of engagements. There was a really nice opening kill there on from Walsh, I believe, as upstairs in Hooker, just getting a nice double. And it really opened things up for the team of Nordik to progress on into the site. So what can they do differently this round? I'm not too sure from the side of NYYRIKKI. I'd like to see them play a little bit more conservatively, really make Nordik push onto the site and really force them to try and execute, because they lost a couple of bodies a little bit too early on then on the entry. And that's not something that you can afford to do all too well. Upstairs control is very important for a Blue Bar and Sunrise hold, and rotations back down onto the site equally important as well. So you're going to really be looking toward Oscar Mosca and Panari to make something happen this round and just do something a little bit different.
Moving into the action phase then, a win on this round could see Nordik move onto match point for the first time for them. And I'm sure that NYYRIKKI will be doing everything they can to bring things back to 5-4. We've got Oscar Mosca just playing in that security area, looking to cause a nuisance of himself and just avoid that office push. But it looks like Nordik have already got a good handle on where he's playing. They've got the barricade there, so that's a good indication. We've got Walshy moving in quickly upstairs. It looks like he could come together with an operator on Cool Vibes. Now that might have just been a silly few shots to take, because I don't think Walshy was aware of the presence of that NYYRIKKI player then, but the shots fired at the drone just turned his attention and allowed him to get that breaching charge fired into the wall, and that's going to allow him to make a challenge down Cool Vibes here potentially if he chooses to do so. Either that or the information he's being fed into his team is just seen 2 or 3 potentially operators down there by Kitchen, so that tells them where the operators not only are but are not. So great plays from Walshy so far.
Yeah, Walsh doing a good job of entering in, but equally NYYRIKKI are doing a very good job because they've not lost anybody yet. Walshy last time got 2 kills on the entry, which was pretty big indeed. But Castle Barricade will get opened on the B side as a Dokkaebi call will fly through. Walshy now just holding the angle over onto Kitchen. They're going to line up for him. He's going to grab one onto move. Doesn't manage to grab the second onto Panari. Does get himself to the top of Cool Vibes stairs to safety. There's an ADS there. He knows that. He's seen it a couple of seconds ago, but he's panicking at this point. He's trying to convert this kill. Toxic Bays will come out. He will be just on the edge of that smoke, so not in the area of effect. Panari has now made his way over into Sunrise to the relative safety of the site to choose to answer his phone and turn off that Dokkaebi call. He's going to return now to Cool Vibes and try and get this kill. Ella's spray on the Scorpion not being too kind for him at all. Walshy, though, is very lit and will retreat all the way over to Billiards. Walshy is going to get that kill. What an engagement from those two. Walshy making his way all the way into Billiards as Panari was too busy trying to peek over onto Hooker. Bit of a 50-50 decision there as to where you choose to peek. Kolensky is going to be full white flashed inside the objective as Lion is pushing onto the window. Shinka grabbing one onto Stiggy, but Kolensky trading it back out, grabbing the kill onto Lion. Walshy with a kill onto Oscar Mosca. It's now all down to Kolensky on the smoke. He can't convert the kill. Crisco is going to find his head, and that will put Nordik on match point.
Nordik really having the run of things here, and they get themselves within 1 point of victory in that all-important draw to give them the point here in CCS EU Season 4. We will be moving into round number 10, and Nordik will have no fewer than 3 attempts now to close this out. NYYRIKKI, I'll be honest, is struggling to find sites that they've done overly well on, in my opinion. They did win Hooker, so they're going to go back there. That was pretty convincing, to be fair. Nordik pretty much just pushed into Aquarium. I think 2, or at least 2, if not 3 of them died in Aquarium. So that's going to be something I'm sure that NYYRIKKI are looking to cover again. And it's something that Nordik certainly need to mix up because it will be very predictable. I'd like to see them take some penthouse theatre control. NYYRIKKI played a couple of defenders over there last time. So take a bit of penthouse theatre control. Maybe get yourself a man advantage. They've got the Hibana. They can open up that wall then in VIP to get lines of sight through into the bomb site itself, and then they can start to push through luggage with the diffuser, move into Aquarium before finally trying to get that plant down whilst covering it from VIP. But we'll see how things pan out. Obviously that's all sort of conjecture at this point, depending what Nordik decide to do.
Nordik now surely going to be looking to convert this victory and convert this match point into a win. They are going to only come away with a draw if they do so, but it will be a well-deserved draw nonetheless. Border was quite clear-cut on the side of NYYRIKKI, and they did a very good job of closing that game out when the time came. But Coastline has gone so far pretty much in the favour of Nordik. They showed us some interesting holds, and they have deserved every round they have taken. Are they going to be able to close things out right here on match point? We will have to see. We're going to see an aggressive run out there from Oscar Mosca. Oh, Crisco there. He kind of had the opportunity. He kind of didn't. I don't think that castle barricade is actually stuck. I think Oscar Mosca might have bailed out of that for fear of losing his life very early. But it certainly, there's a couple of shots that Crisco put down certainly did the job there to deter him from putting that castle barricade up fully. Lion now just going to be waiting on repel outside of north window onto Hooker. There's a lot more pressure this time is being shown directly onto the site. Lion just holding the angle into the corner, maybe waiting for a drone to come through or even a dock will be called to do some work and just locate some of those remaining defenders that could be in and around the site.
2 minutes left to go then. 5 versus 5. Still yet to have that first blood, but Caster's Curse comes in as Move gets a headshot onto Lion, putting that out as ACOG to use, and that starts to slide this objective in the same direction that we saw it go last time. Walshy will take shots there as well. No damage yet taken on the NYYRIKKI side, so this is going to develop as the pressure starts to be applied to site a little bit more. Walshy moves onto Hooker deck there. Panari just waiting for an angle out of that window. Salzum is just stuck out on that Aquarium balcony area. He's just underneath, moving into officers. Doesn't have a choice to move into the top layer because there's no way of getting through that barricade without 11 hitting it. And we've got the Zafia just waiting patiently at the minute. I'm not sure that Nordik have got too much of an idea here. I think they're just stalling out a little bit. They're stumbling. I'm not sure that they're too confident in attacking this site given how well NYYRIKKI defended it last time.
Yeah, they've got to be setting themselves up for some sort of an execute here. They have got a man deficit, but that is not the end of the world. All they need is that one opening kill. Panari is looking pretty vulnerable on Cool Vibes as Stiggy just narrowly misses out on the kill over onto Crisco, and Crisco is going to double peek back and punish him for it. Walshy with a kill of his own as well, and all of a sudden things are looking pretty good for Nordik now as it is 4 versus 3. 35 seconds left, a lot of deniability left in Kalinski's back pocket. He's got 3 toxic bays that I'm sure he's going to start putting to good use. Panari still situated on Cool Vibe stairs. Panari and Walshy, this has been the location of a lot of their battles over the course of this map, and I'm sure we're going to see another. Oscar Moscas does manage to take down Kalinski, so that is no longer going to be the Zafia. Panari this time is going to come out the victor, but not before Shinka takes out Oscar Mosca. Final Dockerby call is going to come through. The deniability now from Kalinski is oh so valuable, and it's going to force Shika to peek out further than he needs. Panari with one, Kalinski with another. Very well defended there from NYYRIKKI.
Not too much of a surprise given NYYRIKKI's previous performance on that site. It is the only objective that they've won defensively though, so to keep themselves alive in this match beyond this, they are going to have to do something that they haven't done so far, and that is win an alternative site. It looks like we're going to be heading to Penthouse Theatre. We saw an unusual setup, it's fair to say, from Nordik, but a very successful one nonetheless. We can't take that away. Look at that between Walshy and Lion, 22 kills between the pair of them, so they are absolutely firing, and I think that's going to be the key to success for Nordik here, is to allow them to keep doing that. Just get them on the entry, get them in there into strong positions, and let them just frag out and get them 5-3, 5-2 up.
We are going to see a vigil this time as well. Oscar Mosca just choosing the vigil, obviously feeling the need for speed, the impact grenades, and of course the cloaking device that will hide him away from the drones. Not always an operator that we see all too much of, but always welcome nonetheless, as it does tend to mean he's going to play a little bit more of a pesky lurker slash roamer role and just get himself hidden away for a later flank. Not seeing a lot of thermite play at all, which isn't all too unusual for this map as a whole. Coastline, one of the maps that you don't tend to need a hard breacher on all that much, but you know, sometimes if you're going to be looking at attacking onto a penthouse, you would like to have the thermite, as you can open a much bigger hole much more reliably than you can with the Hibana X Kairos. A lot of the floor getting opened out there as well, so we're no doubt going to look to see some sort of vertical play come through there. Stiggy going to open things up with a kill onto Crisco. Downstairs of offices, I think that peak came out from, and it looks as though he's going to be able to get himself back up to the top floor with his life intact as well, as Walshy is just going to try and open up the billiards wall from hooker into billiards. And now he can see on drone, he can see Oscar Mosca, but Oscar Mosca is on the wrong side of the window, and the pre-fire kill comes out there onto Walshy. So all of a sudden NYYRIKKI are really showing to us why they are this top tier team, and that even though they're down, they are not out. But Oscar Mosca will get baited out by a drone as Lion picks up a double kill, bringing the man count back into, well, back to equal, 3 versus 3. Nordik are really fighting to keep themselves in this one.
Lion doing everything he can to just scrap and keep things going. The Dockerby of Salzam will move in now and hack the cameras. So that's going to be even more information for Nordik available now. 3 versus 3. Some shots of damage onto Lion, but certainly nothing catastrophic. I think Walshy was just a little bit remiss on that window and left his rappel wire just over the breach in the barricade. It could have been a client-side thing, but I think it just told the vigil of Oscar Mosca exactly where he was and made that fight a little bit easier for him. But we're going to see Lion moving now to see if he can get a little angle in towards theatre. He will certainly make a challenge. He doesn't take any damage. Panari will step out. Panari will take an awful lot of damage and be finished off by Lion. That's going to put Nordik 3 versus 2 here on match point. They've managed to open up a peak hole in the VIP wall as well. They certainly are applying all the pressure that they need to. Out comes the Toxic Babe. That one will be detonated, but shots will go in towards smoke. None will land. They do have multiple angles now. The Maestro of Move is just playing deep in behind the bed as well. I would like to see somebody rotate, and that's exactly what Lion is doing. Lion will get the kill onto Kalinski. Will he get able to move? He will. Fantastic plays from Lion to finish things off for Nordik. What an exciting finish. That was a real single effort there on the 4K.
It was an ace.
Was it? Did he get the first as well?
I think he got the ace. I'm pretty sure that was an ace for Lion. I think he was on 12 kills moving on into that round. It was 12 or 11, but I'm pretty sure that was the ace for him there. If it wasn't an ace, it was a 4K, and he did very, very